guys, if you're new to Deception Bites, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay guys, I'm back and it's Sunday, September 29th, and you know what that means. That's right, tomorrow's the 30th. Anyway, let's get into the Q-related news. I took last night sort of off because I wanted to get to know some software that I had bought, and I just decided to do, you know, something fun and light. And it seems like you guys enjoyed it, so I think I'm going to be doing more of those, not in lieu of the news, but in addition to the news. I'll probably start a new channel to put those on, and this channel is completely demonetized, and I don't show any ads or anything like that, so I am dependent on, you know, your donations and coffee and so forth. And I thank you guys for that. And speaking of that, we do have a couple people to thank here. So we've got Susie Bliss. Not sure where Susie's from. She didn't tell us. How rude. Anyway, thank you, Susie. I appreciate it. And they call me Alabama. My suspicion is that this person is from Alabama. And Tina S., and I know she's from Canada. I don't know where, but I know she's from Canada. So anyway, that is it. And this is the second attempt at recording tonight because when I went to this link, the dailymail.co.uk, it is so overrun with ads that I was so distracted. It was just irritating, and I'm not going to put you guys through that. So anyway, it's one of those sites where if you have an ad blocker on, you can't view it. You have to take the ad blocker off to be able to view the site. And I'm really not a fan of that at all. Anyway, so let's go on. This was actually about Joe Biden's brother being sued because he promised to help the 2020 runners by getting them lucrative contracts. So that's nothing out of the ordinary. It seems like the whole Biden family has a very broken moral compass, if you ask me. And, well, you didn't really, did you? But I gave you my opinion anyway. All right, now let's go on. And this is Tiffany Fitzhenry. We have seen her stuff before. Let me see here. Why won't this open? Well, it won't. Let me see. Unless they've taken it down, because you know how they are. Copy. Let's see. No, isn't that interesting? They removed it. Wow. That's something. Yep. And I can't remember what it was now, but yeah, that's happening more and more. So many people are, you know, you'll see a tweet or something and then it's gone because the Twitter police step in and, you know, they are the guardians of all. And if they don't like what you said, well, then that's it. It can't be said because there is no free speech anymore. Really, there isn't. We'd like to think that there is, but I think that I hope Trump can rein it back in, but I don't know. All right, now this is interesting. It said had to run the link through Bing. Google was suppressing, and what were they suppressing? Well, it was a Wired.com article from 2010, and it's about the Google and CIA. So let's go down here where Deplorable Dearest has kind of laid everything out for us. And she says, replying to Saved Angel 61, 1, ICYMI, exclusive Google, CIA invest in future of web monitoring. The investment arms of the CIA and Google are both backing a company that monitors the web in real time and says it uses that information to predict the future. The company is called Recorded Future, and it scours the web. The company is called, it scours tens of thousands of websites, blogs, and Twitter accounts to find the relationships between people, organizations, I don't know why I can't talk, actions and incidents, both present and still to come. In a white paper, the company says its temporal analytics engine goes beyond search by looking at the invisible links between documents that talk about the same or related entities and events. The idea is to figure out for each incident who was involved, where it happened, and when it might go down. If it's something in the future, when it might go down. Now, this is very interesting, and I've heard this before, that they were trying to do that. It's kind of like, if you've ever seen the movie Minority Report, it's kind of, well, not kind of, it is like that, except in the movie they had a group of empaths that would predict the future, and people were arrested not on the crimes that they had committed, but the crimes that they were going to commit because they could see into the future. So now we have Google. How long do you think it'll be before they start arresting people based on not any crimes that they've committed, but based on what they think that person is going to do? I would say that it's closer than we think it is or would like to imagine that it is. I feel very strongly about that. And it's interesting because there used to be, what did they call that? It was like a bot that did kind of a similar thing, and it would predict things based on what people were talking about. Now, with the advance of quantum computing, can you imagine how much faster Google is going to be able to do that? To establish relationships with people and so forth. And, you know, they can probably determine a lot just by who your friends are. And then they analyze who those friends are friends with. And they make connections of maybe where you know this person from or where you might have met them, whatever. And who knows what they're looking at? They're probably looking at, so many people on Facebook post what they have for supper and things like that. I never understood that. Like they'd show, you look on there and there's a plate of food and you're like, but anyway. And people even post to Facebook when they're going on vacation. Stupid. Yeah, why don't you just write "rob me" on your forehead? But anyway, this is something that Google is doing, and well, who knows where this is going to lead to? I think we do know where it's going to lead to, but anyway, so the temporal analytics engine, I know I've read this, but just to get back on topic, temporal analytics engine goes beyond search by looking at the invisible links between documents that talk about the same or related entities and events. The idea is to figure out for each incident who was involved, where it happened, and when it might go down. Should be or when it might go down. Recorded Future then plots that chatter showing online momentum for any given event. The cool thing is you can actually predict the curve in many cases, says company CEO Christopher Alberg, a former Swedish Army Ranger with a PhD in computer science, which naturally makes the 16-person Cambridge, Massachusetts firm attractive to Google Ventures, the search giant's investment division, and to In-Q-Tel, which handles similar duties for the CIA and the wider intelligence community. It's not the very first time Google has done business with America's spy agencies. Long before it reportedly enlisted the help of National Security Agency to secure its networks, Google sold equipment to the Secret Signals Intelligence Group. In-Q-Tel backed the mapping firm Keyhole, which was bought by Google in 2004. Then, America's spy agencies, long before it reportedly enlisted the help of the National Security Agency to secure its networks, Google sold equipment to the Secret Signals Intelligence Group. In-Q-Tel backed the mapping. Okay, I'm not sure why they posted that twice, but they did. And then, Keyhole was bought by Google in 2004 and then became the backbone for Google Earth. This appears to be the first time, however, that the intelligence community and Google have funded the same startup at the same time. No one is accusing Google of directly collaborating with the CIA, but the investments are bound to be fodder for critics of Google, who already see the search giant as overly cozy with the U.S. government and worry that the company is starting to forget its "don't be evil" mantra. America's spy services have become increasingly interested in mining open source intelligence, information that's publicly available but often hidden in the daily avalanche of TV shows, newspaper articles, blog posts, online videos, and radio reports. Secret information isn't always the brass ring in our profession, then CIA Director General Michael Hayden told a conference in 2008. In fact, there's a real satisfaction in solving a problem or answering a tough question with information that someone was dumb enough to leave out in the open. U.S. spy agencies, through In-Q-Tel, have invested in a number of firms to help them better find that information. Visible Technologies crawl over 500,000 Web 2.0 sites a day, scrapping more than 1 million posts and conversations taking place on blogs, YouTube, Twitter, and Amazon. Tensity applies the rules of grammar to the so-called unstructured text of the web to make it more easily digestible by government databases. Keyhole, now Google Earth, is a staple of the targeting cells in military intelligence units. Recorded Future strips from web pages the people, places, and activities they mention. The company examines when and where these events happened, spatial and temporal analysis, and the tone of the document, sentiment analysis. Then it applies some artificial intelligence algorithms to tease out connections between the players. Recorded Future maintains an index with more than 100 million events hosted on Amazon.com servers. The analysis, however, is on the living web. We're right there as it happens, Alberg told Danger Room as he clicked through a demonstration. We can assemble real-time dossiers on people. Recorded Future certainly has the potential to spot events and trends early. Take the case of Hezbollah's long-range missiles. On March 21st, Israeli President Shimon Peres leveled the allegation that the terror group had Scud-like weapons scouring Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah's past statements. Recorded Future found corroborating evidence from a month prior that appeared to back up Perez's accusations. That's one of several hypothetical cases Recorded Future runs in its blog devoted to intelligence analysis, but it's safe to assume that the company already has at least one spy agency's attention. In-Q-Tel doesn't make investments in firms without an end customer ready test out that companies. In-Q-Tel does not make investments in firms without an end customer ready to test out that company's products. But both Google Ventures and In-Q-Tel made their investments in 2009, shortly after the company was founded. The exact amounts weren't disclosed, but under $10 million each. Google's investments came to light earlier this year online. In-Q-Tel, which often announces its new holdings in press releases, quietly uploaded a brief mention of its investment a few weeks ago. Both In-Q-Tel and Google Ventures have seats on Recorded Future's board. Alberg says those board members have been very helpful, providing business and technology advice, as well as introducing him to potential customers. Both organizations, it's safe to say, will profit handsomely if Recorded Future is ever sold or taken public. Alberg's last company, the corporate intelligence firm Spotfire, was acquired in 2007 for $195 million in cash. Google Ventures did not return requests to comment for this article. In-Q-Tel Chief of Staff Lisbeth Poulos emailed a one-line statement. "We are pleased that Recorded Future is now part of In-Q-Tel's portfolio of innovative startup companies who support the mission of the U.S. intelligence community. Just because Google and In-Q-Tel have both invested in Recorded Future doesn't mean Google is suddenly in bed with the government." Of course, to Google's critics, including conservative legal groups and Republican congressmen, the Obama administration and the Mountain View, California company slipped between the sheets a long time ago. Google CEO Eric Schmidt hosted a town hall at company headquarters in the early days of Obama's presidential campaign. Senior White House officials like economic chief Larry Summers gave speeches at the New America Foundation, the left-of-center think tank chaired by Schmidt. Former Google public policy chief Andrew McLaughlin is now the White House deputy CTO and was publicly, if mildly, reprimanded by the administration for continuing to hash out issues with his former colleagues. In some corners, the scrutiny of the company's political ties have dovetailed with concerns about how Google collects and uses its enormous storehouse of search data, email, maps, and online documents. Google, as we all know, keeps a titanic amount of information about every aspect of our online lives. Customers largely have trusted the company so far because of the quality of their products and because of Google's pledges not to misuse the information. Still rings true to many, not me. I don't trust them. I don't trust that they're using my data, or not misusing my data. I don't trust that at all. But unease has been growing. 37 state attorney generals are demanding answers from the company after Google hoovered up 600 gigabytes of data from open Wi-Fi networks as it snapped pictures of its Street View project. The company swears the incident was an accident, and we believe them. Assurances from the likes of Google that the company can be trusted to respect consumers' privacy because its corporate motive is "don't be evil" has been shown by recent events such as the Why Spy debacle to be unwarranted. Longtime corporate gadfly John M. Simpson told a congressional hearing in a prepared statement, "Any business dealings with the CIA's investment arm are unlikely to make critics like him more comfortable." But Stephen Aftergood, a critical observer of the intelligence community from his perch at the Federation of American Scientists, isn't worried about the Recorded Future deal yet. Well, if Stephen Aftergood, a critical observer of the intelligence community, is not worried about Recorded Future, then we shouldn't be, right? Yeah, we should be, because I think that when you think about how alarming that is, that they can't now, and I realize it's like every technology has a good and evil side, and it depends on whose hands it's in, because this could be a good tool for the government if used properly, because they might be able to draw connections between terrorists and figure out an attack before it happens. That's great. But what if it's figuring out something about you and you get arrested because of a crime that they think you might commit? Not a crime that you actually did commit, but one that you might. And they're already moving towards that with facial recognition. They are going to be able to, and we know that China can process millions of people within seconds and determine who they are. And they're developing it now to determine their mood, whether they look angry, whether they look stressed, whether they look aggressive. And it's logged in to a database. So they hook that information up with all of the other information, and they come up with a profile on certain people, like, oh yeah, this person, they're likely to offend someone. They're really stressed at work, and they wrote this and this and this on their Twitter account. And, whenever we see them in public, they act aggressively. So we think they're going to commit a crime. That's how it will work. And, if you think I'm being a little bit alarmist, then take a look at what's happening in China right now. You can't even take a bus or get on an airplane if your social credit is low. And the social credit isn't just based on your behavior, it's based on your neighbor's behavior. If you live beside a guy who's, say, a pedophile, well, that's going to lower your score. And if you have friends that are unseemly, well, that's going to lower your social score. If you jaywalk, that's going to alter your score. If your credit's not so great, that's going to alter your credit score. And eventually, unless you have a certain credit score, social credit score, you can't even take a taxi to work. You're going to have to ride a bicycle, I guess, because you can't get in a taxi. You can't take public transportation. You can't take an airplane anywhere. Yeah, and it probably doesn't look so good for you for where you work. If you have a low social credit score, it might determine whether you get a raise or not. They might look, I don't know, is this employee trustworthy? They got a low credit score. I mean, they've got a low social credit score. So yeah, and it's probably used to determine who is hireable, because they look at all this stuff and they think, oh, they've got a low credit score. I don't think we can hire them. It's coming here if Trump is not able to stop it. And I pray to God he is. I'm not being alarmist. I'm just being realistic. So anyway, let's go on, because there is lots more to get to. All right, and let's go here. This is very new. Actually, it came out today. And let's look at this. Explosive report. Representative Adam Schiff linked to prominent Ukrainian arms dealer. Are we surprised? Not at all. Not at all. I think Adam Schiff, I hate to say, sorry, a yawn tried to get in there. I'd hate to say he's the most corrupt, because I think there's a lot of people competing for that. Like, you've got Nancy Pelosi. Oh my gosh, it's just Maxine Waters. She's been voted the most corrupt, person in Congress for 2 years now in a row. And then there's Adam, but there's also, the guy that looks like he always got to take a dump. I'm sorry, that was not very nice. Clapper, Brennan, Comey, McCabe. There's so many competing for that title. I would hate to say he, is number one, but he's right up there. All right. Democratic Representative Adam Schiff is connected to a Ukrainian arms dealer. Is this why he's willing to lie in front of the nation when accusing President Trump of crimes? Adam Schiff is arguably the biggest liar in Congress ever. He now leads the House Intelligence Committee, and this past week oversaw the Intel Committee, where he attempted to align President Trump with some trumped-up allegations concerning his phone call with the president of the Ukraine. Schiff lied in his opening remarks and claimed numerous falsehoods about the president's call, in spite of the transcript being provided the day before. His entire description of the president's call was a lie. We have the transcript, and this was not in it. And of course, we've gone through that before, what his statements were compared to what Trump actually said. Not even close. Not even close. He says, oh, I conveyed the essence of what he said. No, he didn't. No, not at all. President Trump rightly called for Schiff's removal from the Intelligence Committee after this dishonest performance. And, just think of that. Like, the intelligence community. Don't you have to have some intelligence to be on that committee? I'm just saying, don't they have prerequisites like an IQ over 70? I would assume they should. I mean, really. Just saying. I think it's odd. So, and this is Donald J. Trump yesterday tweeted, the whistleblower's complaint is completely different and at odds from my actual conversation with the new president of Ukraine. The so-called whistleblower knew practically nothing in those ridiculous charges, which were far more dramatic and wrong, just like little Adam Schiff. And he's replying to his own tweet that says fraudulently and illegally inserted his made-up and twisted words into my call with the Ukraine president to make it look like I did something very wrong. He then boldly read those words to Congress and millions of people, defaming and libeling me. He must resign from Congress. I agree. I totally agree. What he did is unconscionable, really. And he knew he was lying. And then he tries to get away with it by saying, oh, it was just a spoof. Do you get up in your job if you have to give reports? I mean, I've been in jobs where I've had to give reports. And if I got up and read something like I'm reporting, then I can't later say, oh, I was just spoofing you guys. Who does that? No one. No one does that. All right. Now let's, now we know why Schiff is lying. He's connected with a Ukrainian arms dealer. In 2013, Ukrainian Igor Pasternak held 2 different fundraisers for Schiff, asking for contributions between $1,000 and $2,500. Make checks payable to Adam Schiff for Congress, 38 Ivy Street, Southeast Washington, D.C. Our SVP, Mary Palmer, and Adam Schiff. Distribution paid for by Adam Schiff for Congress. Pasternak has also been connected to George Soros. Congressman Adam Schiff had a fundraiser hosted by Ukrainian arms dealer with heavy ties to George Soros. And here it is, Taste of Ukraine reception, Congressman Adam Schiff, Thursday, July 18th, 2013, 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the home of Igor Pasternak, 14 8th Street, Southeast, Washington, D.C., 20003. Suggested contribution, sponsor, $2,500, guest, $1,000. Now that's a pretty costly dinner, if you ask me. It's more than I've ever spent for a dinner. But yeah, and make all checks payable to Adam Schiff. Well, how about that? Could you imagine if you were in Congress and a Ukrainian arms dealer wanted to throw a dinner or put on a dinner on your behalf to raise funds for you? Would you accept, knowing the connections this person had? No, of course you wouldn't. Why? Because you have a moral compass. These people are, I don't think that they have a conscience. I really don't. Or else it's been seared beyond repair. Because I can't imagine the average person ever doing that. Pasternak was reportedly in and around the Ukraine at the same time that Vice President Joe Biden had his son appointed to the board of Ukraine's largest oil and gas producer. Pasternak, who was raised and educated in Ukraine before immigrating to the United States, is a passionate promoter of Ukrainian culture and business. He has been active in both Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. to support increased bilateral ties between the two countries and has been especially active building awareness of Ukraine's strategic economic importance among members of Congress. Since political protests broke out across Ukraine in late 2013, Pasternak has worked to personally inform and educate members of Congress about the geostrategic importance of Ukraine to European and U.S. security. In late February 2014, during the final hours of the Yanukovych hard names to pronounce presidency, Pasternak traveled to Kiev for diplomatic reasons in response to the outbreak of violence that had started less than 48 hours earlier, and to support peaceful transitions amid the rapid changes now taking place across Ukraine. Pasternak is an arms dealer. He has sold arms in places like Syria. And this is Igor Pasternak here. A little bit blurry, but that is him. And selling mine-clearing equipment and arms in Syria and Iraq in 2015. And there's much more to this Ukrainian arms dealer that can be found at this link. And we're not going to go there right now, but it's something that I do need to check out, but I don't want to check it out on your time. I would rather check it out and then bring it to you. So Schiff was reportedly scheduled to be in the Ukraine just last month with the Atlantic Council. Adam Schiff's staffer made the trip. My. Guess what country, this from Beth Ann, my. Guess what country Representative Adam Schiff traveled to last month? The whistleblower report came in August, and guess who was in the Ukraine from August 24th, 2019 to August 31st, 2019. Yep, that would be little Adam Schiff. Yes, he was. There it is. Travel dates, 8/24 to 8/31. And the sponsor is Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center, Ukraine. So, interesting. This is also the same time that Schiff tweeted that information on the Ukraine. Paul Speary said, wait a minute, check this out. Schiff tweeted this exact same Trump-Ukraine collusion narrative a month ago. Exactly how long have Schiff and Dems been working with this whistleblower? Smelling more and more like prefabrication. Yes, it not just smells, it absolutely reeks of prefabrication. Adam Schiff, Trump is withholding vital military aid to Ukraine while his personal lawyer seeks help from the Ukraine government to investigate his political opponent. It doesn't take a stable genius to see the magnitude of this conflict or how destructive it is to our national security. And that was tweeted September 26th. No, it couldn't have been. Paul Speary tweeted it September 26th. I don't know when he tweeted that, but he said it was a month ago, so it must have been in August. Yeah. This earlier tweet was at the exact same time Schiff was reportedly scheduled to be in the Ukraine. And Adam Schiff here says this is the original tweet. And he's responding to, August 28th. So this tweet from Shiffy Pants came on August 28th. Now, Natasha Bertrand said, breaking, Trump has asked his national security team to review funding for Ukraine to ensure the money is being used in the best interests of the U.S. The funding has been put on hold. News comes days later after Trump advocated for reinstating Russia to G7. And this was a story in Politico, and Schiff is responding to that. Trump is withholding vital military aid to Ukraine. Now, interesting. It's just very interesting that this comes out, a month before all this broke. Well, a little under a month. Yeah. What the hell is going on with Shiffy lying Schiff and his Ukraine arms dealer? Is Schiff being paid off? Is this why he is willing to lie on national TV about President Trump's action in the Ukraine? Well, you want to hear something else that really is gobsmacking? I know I use that word, but this really is. Because I now remember that tweet that was deleted was a tweet that Twitter deleted. That tweet contained information that Schiff, his car, was in the location where Seth Rich was murdered. Now, I know he didn't die on scene. I know he was taken to the hospital and Donna Brazil happened to be there. But yeah, Adam Schiff's car was in that area at that time. Why? So there you go. Now, Twitter deleted that. So that tells you that there's truth there, and I believed it was true anyway, because that came from Fitzhenry. What's her first name? I can't remember, but and she is a very, very good reporter. So, well, she's not really a reporter. She's more of a whistleblower. I don't know what you'd call her, but she's good. All right. So let's go back, and because we've got more. Yeah, we do. All right. Have we been going for an hour? Because it feels like a long time. Let me, I may come back and do another video. I think I might have to, because there's some stuff I really want to get to, but let's get to this first. Okay, I know, you can't hear it. This is very, very good. It's 2 minutes and 14 seconds, and it's not the same that we listened to the other night, but have a listen. He's got a way of putting things very succinctly. And up above here, it says, well, it just says CrowdStrike. And Rush, media, and Democrats don't want anyone to know about CrowdStrike. So, gee, I wonder why.
Going to see the media, the Democrats react to it. They're going to ignore it. But Trump mentioning CrowdStrike, that's the firm that examined the DNC server after it was hacked in 2016. Everybody thinking that the Russians did it. FBI never examined it. We don't know who hacked the server. We don't know that there was a hack. We don't know that it wasn't an inside job to release some of the data on that Democrat National Committee server. They whoever tried to hack the RNC computers, but they never got into theirs. But the DNC was hacked. Debbie Blabbermouth-Schultz would not let the FBI examine. They brought in this private sector firm, CrowdStrike, which is not Fusion GPS, but they may as well be. It's all part of the same mix of Democrat political partisan operatives on the left here. And they said, well, yeah, we looked at it, and the Russians hacked this. And the only evidence for the Russians hacking it is that whoever the hacker was left evidence by way of a Cyrillic keyboard. The Russian language. It was, somebody was making it look like the Russians hacked it. Anyway, when Trump mentioned CrowdStrike to the Ukrainian president, do not doubt me, what he was really asking, because he specified the business of Biden and his son, he's really asking the president of Ukraine to help Barr in the investigation of when the Trump-Russia collusion investigation actually began. That's what Trump wants to know. That's what Barr is trying to find out. That's what, and that investigation is ongoing, and we don't know much about it, but it's still happening. And the fact that CrowdStrike got mentioned, the Democrats don't want anybody to know about CrowdStrike. They don't want anybody thinking about CrowdStrike. Because I'll tell you, it looks more and more and more like that elements in Ukraine have some responsibility or culpability in the original investigation, the FBI and so forth, into Trump-Russia collusion.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much I like Rush Limbaugh. I used to listen to him quite a while ago when I was in the States, but I don't know why I stopped listening to him, really, because he's really awesome. Anyway, yeah, they are literally having a cow over the whole CrowdStrike thing. They really are, because, and they should. They should. And of course, we know that Russia didn't do it. That's already been cleared up. We already know that it was transferred from a disk because somebody from an outside source, they couldn't get all that data transferred, quick enough to not be noticed. So they know that it, was taken out on a disk, and we know who did that and why they died. So anyway, let's go back here and so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here, and I might come back and do another short video. I don't want to say definitively until I get this uploaded, but I think I would like to, because I didn't do a video last night, not really. So, all right, that's what we're going to do. And I want to tell you guys, I do appreciate you guys so much. Those of you that support this channel in any way, be it prayer, be it encouragement, just showing up. I like you guys. I like to hang out with you. So anyway, like, share, and subscribe. My videos don't get suggested anymore because of the content. So share it with whoever you think might enjoy it. And also, if you want to be subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed because we know the games they play. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. All right, have a great night, stay safe, and keep seeking truth.